Welcome to navigation part 5, easy steps, and this time we're going to be looking at contours. That's how we take a two-dimensional map, put lines on it to give us a three-dimensional image. And so I'm going to be using locations such as here in the stunning Lowther estate in the Lake District, where we've got an example of a nice steady hill, a flat section, another even slope, and then a flat section going down to the river at the bottom there. So join me here and other locations for this easy steps on contours. So what I'm going to be doing in this section is showing you an area of hillside such as this, smooth, flat hill, smooth, and showing you how this looks on a map. So I'm using the tool of Ordnance survey online here, and you can see what this area looks like on a 1 in 25,000 map. The first thing that you need to do when using your map is to have a look at the contour line intervals. So for instance, that's going to be typically every so many meters of elevation will have a contour line. So in this case, we might have a contour line at the bottom and a contour line at the top of this hill here. And then what I'll be doing is giving you the 3D picture of that area. And we're going to be building in increasing complexity from this location through 3 others to increasingly complex hill shapes. So I would encourage you to have a go at this yourself. It needs a subscription to OS Maps Online, but as well as the tools that I've mentioned before, the ability to get maps of an area, it'll also now give you a 3D flyby, so you can get a proper picture of what your area looks like. And you can also overlay contours as I've done here. Here we've got 3 distinct hills: Great Mel Fell, Little Mel Fell and Gobarrow Fell, and they've all got their own shapes, and we're going to look at their contours to see those distinct shapes and break them down. The view I had here was from Watermilk Common. I was looking across towards Great Mel Fell, and you can see the shape of the hill here. It's fairly compact with a longer spur along this side, and then across to Little Mel Fell, which is compact again with a steep southeasterly side and then a longer spur out over the northeastern flank, and then finally over to Gobarrow Fell, and you would have seen that that had a much rounder shape. Now let's have a look at that in a 3D view. So firstly, here's Great Mel Fell. Let's overlay the contours. And you'll see the long spur to the southeast side, and there's a little corrie or coombe going down there, represented by the contour lines following that shape around, and a steeper northwestern flank. And we can take that up into map view just there. So this is how this would look on the map. Coming back down again into 3D, you can see how those contours play out. Now let's go over to the sister fell, Little Mel Fell here. This has a slightly different shape with this aspect to the northwest side. Let's flick down into 3D again there. Now let's move over onto Gobarrow Fell. Remember, these are three distinct hills lying in a plain, and you'll see in that plain the contour lines are much wider apart. You can see in the green valley area here, the contour lines, which remember are 10 meters apart, are much wider apart. And this brings us nicely on to the summit of Gobarrow Fell. You can see on this long, gentle summit here, the contour lines are quite wide apart. Let's go over onto plan view there. We've got this broad, quite complex hill with these little epicenters where there's flattened sections. Let's move back down to 3D again, and you can see what those sections look like. This is what my original view would have been like from Watermilk Common. There's the rounded shape of Gobarrow Fell. Just to help you there, I'll switch the contours off and back on again. So a nice even slope coming from the valley at the bottom and some complex shapes on top. In this section I was at Bordeal House to the east of Patterdale, and I wanted to put this in to illustrate how contour lines can help you to ascertain your position. Now in this video I was looking across towards the distinct rocks of Angleton pikes, but I'd really like to show you this feature here with these small summits at Stonerigg. If you look at this little peak here and this little peak here, there's two small rounded summits with a path running up the centre. Now this is us looking towards Stonerigg here, and you can see the path running up the centre here, and there's the distinct rocks of Angleton pikes. Let's overlay the contours. So this is what the contours look like, and just to remind you, let's give the aerial view of those two rounded summits, and there's the distinct rocks of Angleton pikes. And when we come back down to 3D view, which is not far off my view from Bordeal House down here, there we go. You can see how that looks like in 3D and how that looks like on the map. So when I was looking up between these two features here, that was giving me a good positional fix of looking down towards the southeast. Just here we have High Dodd. See the contours laid out before us. And there's a combination of crags, convex slopes and concave slopes. Just here we've got a straight to convex slope, and at the top here we've got a little saddle with a concave area inside. This was a continuation of the walk from Bordeal House. We went over Place Fell, and the location I was in was standing by this distinct sheepfold here, and we were looking out over High Dodd. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here, and you'll see this area to the west or left as I looked on my video. And what I wanted to point out as I was looking down this spur here is the contour lines a little bit closer together in the center section. So they're far apart, there's those little crags there, and then they're closer together here, and then they get wider apart again. So that would indicate gentle, steep, gentle. So this upper part is a convex or curved out slope. And this is this little saddle in between here, and since it was only would have been less than a 10-meter difference, there aren't any more contour lines. So sometimes you have to accept that contour lines don't always show the features that you're looking at, but again you have to look at the detail, these subtle areas here, and accept there's going to be a little bit in between here. Let's look at that in 3D. So this is our overview here, and this is where I was here at the sheepfold in this location, and we were looking across towards High Dodd here. Here's the little saddle at the top, and here is the convex slope. And we can see how that looks like from the side. It's not a massive summit, this, and we can see that here the contour lines for the steeper ground are slightly closer together, and at this saddle here we haven't really got many contour lines except for there was a couple at the top there. There we go, that small one at the top there, but we've still got this distinct saddle here. So just like before and like all my other videos on navigation, practice is the key. Don't accept that you'll get contours straight away, but with practice and time on the ground, perhaps take time on a walk to sit and look at a feature or look at a fell or hill and work out every little detail of that feature, and you'll start to get better and better over time of taking that 3D view, and your mind will learn that fabulous trick of making those contour lines into a 3D image in your mind. It'll help your navigation no end. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a good bit of work, so please like and subscribe, and I'd be delighted if you commented below and tell me what you thought of this video and the way it explained contours. Thank you.